It has been an ongoing joke between friends and family that are close to me, probably for the last 20 years now, that Desirai doesn't like to read books. Desirai just likes to buy them. I have a friend, Diana, and when we started college together, I discovered that she also liked to read. And she would come over and she would use my bookshelves as a library. And oftentimes she would pick books out or point to them and say, "Oh, how's that book?" And my answer was almost always, "I don't know. I haven't read it yet." I have taken some time to reflect on this, and there have been brief periods where I realized that financially I just couldn't be buying that many books, and so I would decrease it. I've probably attempted 2 separate book buying bans since starting Booktube, neither of which were very successful. But since starting Booktube in particular, I have acquired 3 new bookshelves, and honestly, I don't think that's enough because I'm starting to notice stacks of books in separate rooms around my house. And I guess after giving it more thought, what I've realized is that it's not necessarily about the money because, you know, I could be spending it on something else. I could be buying myself a bunch of coffees from Starbucks. I could be spending it on scratch-off tickets. I could be going to the movies a lot. Or what I used to do was I used to buy a lot of video games. And now I can get 6 books for the price of 1 video game. So anyway, like I was saying, it's not about the money. What I've realized most recently is that the unread books are giving me anxiety. I feel behind. I feel like I'm never going to catch up. I feel like I'm failing. And there's 2 books that I've read that have me really wanting to do something about this. The first one is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. For me, the 2 things that I've always been somewhat of a collector about is either video games or books. And so the idea of unhauling or getting rid of any, whether I play them or have read them or haven't read them or have no intention of reading them, I was just always no, but those are the 2 things I collect. I can hold on to those things. And I've just been thinking more and more about that. In the book, Marie Kondo explains that you should be surrounding yourself with the things that bring you the most joy and not with anything that makes you feel anything negative. And so if you have a book on your shelf that you haven't read in 15 years, then maybe it's time to let it go. Because if you ever really, really want to read it, you can just rebuy it. The idea of that when it comes to books is not really something that I feel comfortable with. I'm not really somebody that even DNFs books because I feel like I'll be able to read that book at the exact moment in time in my life when it's most valuable for me to read that. And whether that's 10 years from now or 15 years from now or, 3 weeks from now, I have faith that the universe will put it in my hands and I'll be able to read it when I'm ready. And from a collector's perspective, the books that I have read, I would never really want to let go of. I think that mindset has changed a little bit since reading the Marie Kondo book, and I'm more willing to let go of books that weren't 4 and 5 stars, that weren't super memorable. Something that got me really excited about the potential of unhauling books was registering as a steward to have my own little free library. I wanted my little free library to be really big, so I got something that had multiple shelves, and it's just a regular bookcase. So my husband said that he would waterproof it and he would fix it however he needed to so that we could put it outside. Unfortunately, that has not happened. And so I ended up creating a somewhat little free library at work where the people at work all have access to it. And I've brought some of my books there, books that I've read, books that I didn't love, books that I read but really want other people to read. And so that very rigid collector's mentality is starting to budge a little bit. The other book that I haven't been able to stop thinking about is The Happiness of Pursuit by Chris Guillebeau. That book is all about creating life quests and mastering them and the sense of fulfillment that you can get by doing those things. So one of the examples in the book was a woman who decided that she wanted to identify every bird that there was in the world, and she dedicated her life to doing that. There was another man who wanted to run a race in every country. It's up to the individual to decide what their particular quest is going to be and how meaningful it is to them specifically. So with those books in mind, and with the acknowledgement of the anxiety that my unread books are bringing me, I wanted to start a video series about a quest. I want to dedicate 2019 to reading my unread books and hopefully significantly reducing some of the anxiety that I've been experiencing. But this isn't just about me. I've been thinking about this for months and I've kind of been sitting on this idea, but it seems like Booktube is currently having a conversation about consumerism, about purchasing too many books, about drowning in unread books. And so I guess it's the perfect time for me to kick things off. If you've been feeling the way I have, I want you to join me. I want us to be in this together. It's going to be a video series, so I'm going to start with different steps and you can do it alongside with me. I'm also really hoping that you'll be willing to help keep me accountable. Moving forward, I'm going to be really clear about where I've gotten my books, whether they were loaned to me, or I got them from the library, or I purchased them secondhand. So I'm going to be transparent as to where the books I'm reading are coming from. If I forget to mention that detail, please don't be afraid to ask. Hey Desirai, where'd you get that book from? I'm going to put out 2 more videos as part of this series, and then we're going to kick things off on January 1st. November's video is going to be dedicated to taking inventory. So I'm going to do something I've never really stopped to do. I'm going to count all my books. I'm going to figure out how many I've read and how many I have unread. And I already know those are going to be some really ugly numbers, but hopefully some of you will be willing to do the same and take inventory of your bookshelves to see where we stand and where we're starting from. December's video is going to be establishing the rules. So if this is something that you really want to take seriously and you want to change your spending habits and you kind of want to conquer your shelves, then think about what rules you want to put in place. Chapter Kate just recently uploaded a video where she talks about some of her spending habits, but she also provides a few different plans in order to help control some of that spending. I'll be sure to link to her video and a few others in the description below. I told a couple of my booktuber friends that I was really excited about starting this project for 2019, and they don't seem to have much faith in me. But I'm hoping that you do and that we can do it together. I'm really looking forward to diving into all those stories I've been hoarding. I hope you are too. If you can relate to the unread book anxiety that I've referred to, please let me know in the comments below. So this is my shelf mastery announcement video. If you are interested in keeping each other accountable, please go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. I look forward to starting this quest, and I hope you'll join me for my shelf mastery video series. All right guys, thanks for watching and see you next time.